Hi, everyone. Welcome to Literature 210, Children and Young Adult Literature. This is Professor Hall, and today I'm going to just do a quick walkthrough of our course. So if you want to get started early, you can, and if you don't, that's fine. But when we do officially start next week, you'll have a good understanding of how everything's laid out and where you can find stuff. So let's get started. First, just to introduce myself, Megan Cassidy Hall is my full name, and I used to go by Megan Cassidy. So my website is megancassidyauthor.com, but this is me. And I, in addition to teaching, I write books for children, young adults, and adults. So this is my middle grade novel. We'll talk in our class what that is, middle grade literature. This is my young adult novel. And these are a couple of the novels that I've written for adults. So if you're interested in visiting my website, you can also see some of my short stories. You can read about the publishing company that my husband and I own together. And you can, check it out if you want to. So first, this is the homepage. Any announcements you'll be able to see right here. I already sent out the announcement about the books for the class. So if you didn't get that or if you signed up late, feel free to go in the announcements and check that out. If you're interested in getting the books online, instead of buying them in the bookstore, I provided links for that. So let's take a look at our syllabus and calendar. The syllabus is actually in two different forms for your convenience. So first, we have a module, and then down here is a PDF. The PDF is something that you can download and print if you want. The module I put in, I'm going to open it in a new tab here because I have kind of slow internet. The module I put in because you can see each piece on a different page, and I think it's kind of visually easier to check out. So here we go. All of this stuff is over here on the left in the table of contents, and then you can also scroll through. So here's the same picture that I have on my website. I didn't feel like finding a new one, I guess. My contact information is here. So I'm not on campus, obviously, because we're during the winter, but you can email me at any point. And then the course description and goals is next. So an overview about what the class is, looking at literature written for children from preschool through high school. We're actually going to be starting at about the kindergarten first grade age and then moving up from there. A variety of genres and looking at some historical developments. Really what we're going to do in this session is focus on the cognitive, social, and emotional development of children and how books reflect those developmental changes, but also how they meet the needs of children at those various developmental milestones. So that's kind of our goal. The course materials, again, that list of books. There's also a thing here for how you are graded. Basically, we have two different types of assignments. You'll have discussion forums, which are 10 points, and essays, which are 50 points. I'm going to drop the lowest discussion board post. There's also an extra post in there for the book Gathering Blue in case you're interested in doing that for extra credit. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you need to skip a discussion board or if you do not so great a job on one of them, I am going to drop that grade for everybody, at least one of them. So the types of assignments and kind of what they are, again, is after this, how you're graded. Then we have the basic policies of the course. So the homework and discussion policies, which kind of lays out the fact that since this is a winter class, I don't take anything late. And also I'd like you to keep your discussions respectful. For the most part, I don't think that'll be difficult for this class for talking about kids' books. I have that for some of my other classes where we're talking about, controversial issues. But there are some things here that might be sensitive. We are talking about in Persepolis, there is a war going on. In Tangerine, there is and in Joey Pigza, there are people who have disabilities or neurological differences. So those types of things, just make sure that the way that we're talking about them is academic and professional, and that you follow these respectful, responsible, responsive guidelines for discussion. So the plagiarism policy, the attendance policy are also in here as the disability and ADA statement. I also have here a list of all the academic support services. I'm not sure about their hours during the winter break, but they will be there. So if you need to talk to ADA or TRIO or tutoring, or you want to connect with the Writing Center, if you need help on any of the assignments, academic advising and the Success Center are there as well. They can be particularly helpful in the Success Center for when you want some tips for how to do an online class, or maybe you're struggling to keep up with the work, that kind of thing. The academic advising is more for reviewing your courses, doing course scheduling, things of that nature. So all of the phone numbers are there for you, as well as their locations if you're interested. Then the AW policy, that's really for people who kind of never show up for the class, just to make sure that we protect them from having any grades. And then any syllabus changes will be announced. That's basically what syllabus changes says. And then I have for you a thing here about taking an online class. Other people in my other online classes have said that this is kind of helpful. Just some tips for how to manage things and how to manage your time. So below, here we go. Below the syllabus, both versions, is our course calendar. All of the items are due by 11:59 on the last day of the unit. I'll show you that there's a reminder for that as well in the actual folders. So for each unit on the calendar, 3 weeks, 3 units, there are things for you to watch. So I record all my lectures, kind of like I'm recording this. Then there are things for you to read. I would like you to read the books after you watch the lectures, but what I would not do, I wouldn't watch all the lectures and then do all the reading. I would watch the lecture on Junie B. Jones and then read the book. Watch the lectures on lower middle grade and Mrs. Pigglewiggle and then read Mrs. Pigglewiggle. That's what I would recommend doing. And so watch, read, and then do the assignments. Discussion forums for each book, and then a paper for each unit. That's basically how the class is structured. You can see the same thing next unit. Here are the lectures. Oh, I also have optional viewing as well, and I'll show you guys what that looks like in a minute. It's just things that you don't have to watch, but I tried to find interviews with all of the authors who are living anyway. And just in case you're interested, if there's a book you particularly like, you might want to watch one of those interviews. So the lectures are required. The optional viewing is there for you as well. And then what to read for that unit. And then the discussion forums, one for each book, and the paper. Same thing here, discussion forums, one for each book, and then the paper. So let's take a look at the lessons and assignment tab. So lessons and assignments, that is basically where everything is. I put in a welcome forum if you'd like to introduce yourself. And then each unit is here. So unit 1, the dates are there, unit 2, and then unit 3. I also have this right here, PowerPoint lecture notes. There's one lecture that I did that I think went a tad bit long, so you can just read the notes for that if you would like. It's the first lecture about the types of literature that we're going to be discussing. For the rest of them, I put the lecture notes in there in case you want to download and follow along while you watch the video. Sometimes people like to print them out, so they're all there for you. So here is what a unit looks like. First, I have a little item here about the unit goals. So basically, what I'd like you to learn, explore, discuss, and then write. That's basically, each unit is sort of structured in the same way. Then here's my first lecture. This is the one I put optional on. Again, it went 29 minutes. I intended it to be about 15. But so for each unit, we have reading and child development for whatever the ages are. I talk about, again, the cognitive, social, and emotional needs of a child and how reading reflects or how books reflect or meet those developmental needs. Then I have the lecture for the book for that part, Junie B. Jones, in the case of ages 5 to 7. The next one here, it's kind of the same thing, literature and child development 8 to 10. And then a lecture on the two books that are for children 8 to 10. Then I have the optional videos for you. I couldn't find any for Betty McDonald, who wrote Mrs. Pigglewheel, or Barbara Park, who wrote Junie B. Jones. Both of them have passed away, but there were quite a number of interviews with Astrid Lindgren, who wrote Pippi Longstocking. So I put 2 of those in for you if you want. Discussion forum directions are the same for each unit, but they're there for you, how to do it. And then the questions in each discussion forum. I also, for each, I should reorder this, but I put an optional discussion forum because I think sometimes I ask discussion questions, but maybe you want to talk about something that we didn't talk about. So if you just want to leave a comment for me to read, that would be a great place to do it. What was your favorite part? Which of the books you liked? Which of the books you didn't? Or any other comment you want to make. And then after the discussion forums, then comes the paper assignment. So short papers, just 2 to 3 pages discussing child development and one of the books for the unit. So you don't have to talk about all 3 books. I really want you to just focus on one. There's a sample outline. We're not doing research for this class. It's not that type of a course. So what you're basically doing is analyzing one of the books and talking about some of the things I talked in my lecture and some of the things you saw on your own in terms of those developmental milestones and how the book meets those needs and how it reflects the changes that kids are going through. So that's basically how each unit is set up. I'll show you units 2 and 3, but they're structured exactly the same way. And I'm going to open those again in new tabs to try to speed things up for you. So here's Unit 2, upper middle grade. That's for ages 11 to 13. So we have the lecture on the development, a lecture on each one of the 3 books for the unit, and then optional viewing, one short video with each of the 3 authors. The forum directions, the discussion forums, one for each book, the optional discussion forum, and then the paper. And the same thing for Unit 3. The unit goals, child development 13 to 18, Gathering Blue and The Giver I put together because they're written by the same author and they have some similarities. And also Gathering Blue, as I think I mentioned before, it is the bonus read. So if you want to do extra credit, the forum is in this folder. Required viewing on Persepolis, the optional viewing with the authors of The Giver and Persepolis, the forum directions, the 3 forums. This one is noted extra credit, right? The optional forum, and then the paper. So that's it. I hope that it's kind of easy to navigate. Everything is structured exactly the same way for each unit. And then lastly, here on the left, link to email. If you need to email me, link to Starfish. That's where you can check your attendance, grades, raise a hand if you need help, that kind of thing. And then if you're having problems with Blackboard, there's a link there for Blackboard help. And that is pretty much it. That's our class. So I hope that you enjoy the class, and I look forward to meeting all of you virtually if I haven't met you in person. And I look forward to reading your work. That's it. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.